Hi there, Doug Stewart with IT Creations. This week we have HP's flagship workstation, the Z8 G4, and as promised, we are going in deep to present the new capabilities and features on this system. If you thought the Z840 was something special and were contemplating ways you could sell your soul to get one, well now you can transfer that feeling to the Z8 G4. Let's begin. Certainly there are a few claims, at least two, for the world's most powerful workstation, but I must admit the new Z8 G4 certainly has a solid case for that title. What's new on the Z8 G4? First off, Intel scalable processors, which make many of the improvements possible, like 56 cores and support for up to 3 terabytes of memory. The Z8 packs in new technologies in a completely redesigned chassis that boasts better thermal control and a nice new case design with a very well-organized interior layout. If you're familiar with the Z2 Mini G3 workstation, you'll notice some stylistic elements that are adapted to the new G4 towers, along with the new HP logo design. It still features integrated handles front and back to lug this beast around the office or to take it home over the weekend. You can install 1 or 2 Intel Xeon scalable processors from either the Bronze, Silver, Gold, or Platinum families, maxing out at 28 cores each for 56 physical cores total with 2 processors. Hyper-threading will double that core count, and Turbo Boost is also supported. Start out with just a single processor and add another at a later date. Make no mistake, the Z8 G4, like its predecessor, the Z840, is an expensive piece of hardware. Fully outfitted with maximum memory, storage, platinum processors, and some high-performance GPUs, this system would probably cost in the tens of thousands of dollars. Most people will not need that kind of performance, and that even goes for people who use workstations on the daily. So who and what is this system designed for? Gamers? No, we've already been through that. Build your own system for your games for less, much less. But for those analyzing huge data sets, building virtual worlds, complex simulation, machine learning, high-end CGI for 4K, 6K, or even 8K graphics, a big yes. Of course, the new Z6 and Z4 G4 workstations can also support these types of applications, but the Z8 does more, better, debatable, but definitely faster. At this point, you're probably wondering what it will cost to own one of these systems. Well, IT Creations does have these in stock, and for a limited time, you can save up to $250 off the purchase of a system listed at $2,500 or more. Just click that link in the upper corner or in the description below to visit IT Creations to see pricing on pre-configured systems. We can also custom configure the system to your specifications. And now, back to the review. The tri-channel cooling featured on the Z840 now has even more airflow paths on the Z8 G4, which finds inspiration from the multi-chambered Nautilus shell. I'm not seeing that, but anyways, the case is divided into 2 main zones. The redesigned power module and wiring on one side, and the motherboard and all other components are on the other side, separated by a metal panel. Each processor has its own heatsink with high-pressure fan that pulls air in through the front of the system. A black plastic baffle covers the processors and memory modules and even attempts to ensure the second processor doesn't just get warm air recirculated coming off the first processor. 3 fans in front pull air through the chassis, with 1 big fan in the lower portion pulling air across the hard drives and past the PCIe slots. A smaller fan in the middle to cool the lower memory modules, and a larger fan above to cool the upper memory modules and the PCIe cards that may be installed in the personality slots above the processors. A larger fan at the back of the chassis pulls the air out through the back. There are vents all over the system for airflow. In a nutshell, the cooling is excellent, but we didn't come here to discuss airflow. By the way, if you're wondering how loud this system is with all those fans, here you go. Can you hear it? Can you hear it now? There are plenty of ports front and back, and this statement may be a bit broad, but for connecting anything. After all, if it isn't supported on this machine, there's probably no reason for its existence. And if you don't have the port you're looking for, you can certainly use one of the 7 PCIe slots or one of the 2 PCIe personality slots, or adapt one of the optical bays for whatever is missing, like maybe a Thunderbolt 3.0 port, which uses USB-C to support displays, Thunderbolt, and PCIe Express over a single port. The maximum supported processor and memory speed on the Z840 was 2400 MHz. With scalable processors on the Z8, memory speeds of up to 2666 MHz are possible. However, you will need memory modules and processors that support that speed. Memory configuration will also be a factor, and NUMA is supported for mixing memory modules of different capacities, but with a specific load order. The new scalable processors support transfer speeds of up to 10.4 gigatransfers per second on ultra-path interconnects, or UPI. Compared that to the Quick Path Interconnect, or QPI, supported on the previous generation Xeon E5 2600 V4 family of processors, which only supported 9.6 gigatransfers per second. Not only that, but the high-end scalable processors have up to 3 UPI channels instead of just the 2 QPI channels on E5 V4 processors for even greater throughput and performance. But that's really only a benefit on 4 processor systems. Xeon SPs also provide 6 memory channels instead of just 4 featured on the Xeon E5 2600 family. The 6 memory channels per processor can be populated with 2 memory modules each and a maximum of 1.5 terabytes of memory using 12 128 gigabyte memory modules. To support the full 3 terabytes will require 2 suitable processors, 24 DDR 128 gigabyte memory modules, Win 10 Pro 64 for workstations, and some deep pockets. However, keep in mind when ordering CPUs that if you plan on maxing out the memory, you will need a scalable processor with the M designation. CPUs with the M, like on the Gold 6140M, support up to 1.5 terabytes of memory each. Those without the M only support 768 gigabytes of RAM, and if you try to load more, expect the system not to boot. A note in the quick specs for the system also hinted at 256 gigabyte modules, which might be available as soon as next year for like $1 gazillion each. In comparison, the Z840 supports 2 terabytes of memory in 16 memory slots, and like the Z8, only uses DDR4 memory modules. Other versions of Windows can be used, but will not support the full complement of memory. Storage is also impressive on the system with 4 internal drive bays that can support either one 3.5-inch drive or one 2.5-inch drive. So far, the system does not support dual 2.5-inch drives in the internal drive bays. However, each of the front 2 5.25-inch media bays can support either one 3.5-inch drive or 2 2.5-inch drives with a drive tray adapter. Here's how it all adds up to 48 terabytes of storage. The internal drives use a 6-port, 6 gigabit per second Intel SATA RAID controller. 2 PCIe slots located above CPU 0 and CPU 1 support optional M.2 storage modules that support 2 M.2 storage sticks each. With 2 processors and 2 M.2 storage modules, that's up to 8 additional terabytes of super fast M.2 storage without touching those PCIe slots in the lower portion of the chassis. Pretty slick. The remaining PCIe slots can support all sorts of additional cards for network communications, Thunderbolt 3, Wi-Fi, and even more M.2 storage with the addition of a Z Turbo Drive Quad Pro card that can support up to 4 M.2 storage devices. The additional M.2 Quad Pro card will take up one of those PCIe slots, but the Z8 will take up to 8 Z Turbo drives total. Embedded SATA drive controllers support 8 ports SATA and 2 ports eSATA and offer SATA RAID at 0, 1, 5, and 10 at 6 gigabit per second link speed. If you plan on using SAS drives, you will need an optional add-in HD RAID controller, specifically the Microsemi 2100 4i 4e that offers 8-port SAS support at 12 gigabits per second and limited RAID of 0, 1, and 10. You can also install an optional optical drive, DVD-RW, or Blu-ray in the front of the chassis. The M.2 drives can be configured for RAID using Windows Disk Management and are managed with trim using the Dataset Management command. Did I mention this system can be rack-mounted with an optional rail kit? If that's the case, you might want to install a network interface controller supporting 10 gigs. Although I should note that the system comes embedded with dual 1 gigabit Ethernet. Powering the system is either an 1125 watt or a 1450 watt PSU, both of which will output even higher at 1450 watts or 1700 watts respectively when connected to a 200 to 240 volt power supply. Managing the system is easy with the telltale lights on the front of the system and HP PC Hardware Diagnostics UEFI. There's also Intel Active Management technology providing an advanced set of management features and functionality for on-site and remote management. Security is also a main feature in the latest iteration of HP's powerful workstations. The Z8 features the typical cast of characters, including a lock on the side panel to secure all drives and internal components, an optional intrusion sensor, and a slot for the optional Kensington lock so you can loop it around a column, ensuring thieves will have to collapse part of the building to steal your system. Along with those mundane features, HP also added the client security suite, HP Sure Start, and the industry's first self-healing BIOS with intrusion detection. The Z8 has 6 active PCIe 3.0 slots in a single processor configuration, counting one of the internal personality PCIe slots located above CPU 0. With the addition of a second processor, 3 more slots become active for a total of 9 PCIe slots, which includes a second internal PCIe personality slot located above CPU 1. Adding the second CPU also changes PCIe slot number 1 from a by 4 slot to a by 8 electrical slot. The Z8 GeForce supports high-end graphics cards from AMD and NVIDIA. With a single processor and an 1125 watt power supply, you can install up to 4 75 watt GPUs, up to 3 180 watt GPUs, or 2 250 watt GPUs. The addition of a second processor and a 1450 watt 20 amp PSU, you get the same numbers, 4 by 75 watt, 3 by 180 watt, but you can also install a third 250 watt GPU for a total of 3 high-performance GPUs or accelerators. Clearly, you get a lot of mileage out of that first processor with 6 out of 9 PCIe slots active and support for substantial GPU options, all with a single processor. Depending on your choice of GPU, the system will support up to 16 displays, and if I'm not mistaken, 16 displays at 4K. HP also just released a new range of displays to take advantage of all that eye-watering power, including a new 37.5-inch curved 4K display with an ultra-thin bezel, the Z38C. But that's not your only option for displays. I'm not sure what kind of applications are coming out in the near future, but the Z8 G4 is definitely equipped to handle it. It really is designed for the super user who needs to get things done fast, like video editing in 8K or analyzing that mysterious hot air balloon of molten rock rising beneath New Hampshire. Of course, many will want one just for the bragging rights. For those of us who don't need that kind of power, there's still the supremely capable 2-processor Z6 G4 and the single processor Z4 G4. Even the Z2 G3 delivers workstation performance, just not with the most powerful workstation in the world price tag. And you may not need dual processors for whatever application you're using, because some programs, even ISV certified programs, run better on a single processor. Well, that's it for our review of the Z8 G4 workstation. We will be taking a look at the Z6 G4 and the Z4 G4 when they become available. In the meantime, if you liked our video, give us the thumbs up and share this video with one of your friends who knows absolutely nothing about computer equipment. Subscribe if you want to receive updates when we review another server or workstation. And if you have any comments or questions, post them in the comments section below. I'm Doug Stuman with IT Creations, and thanks for watching.